Hello, wonderful students of Introduction to Computers. Let's review lecture number 1 with a short summary of the computer keyboard presented by Mr. Cadero D. Johnson. Implementation of learning resources. Learning resources are an integral component of the lesson. The purpose of the resources is to enhance the lesson, provide learners with an experience that is so effective that it will invoke interaction among themselves and teachers, and it will no doubt encourage the development and continual growth of different skills. All of the resources listed on the lesson plan will be used effectively throughout the lesson. How do your resources support reflective practices in technology-enabled environments? Well, the resources used in this lesson provide the opportunity for students to interact with the technology and to be engaged in the lesson. The experience for them would be hands-on, and they would be exposed to a variety of resources and strategies that will aid in achieving learner objectives. These resources were designed to cater to the needs of all learning styles and should keep learners engaged throughout the lesson. Students will also be given the opportunity to use e-portfolios and blogs for the sole purpose of reflecting on their learning experience through the use of technology. Research has pointed to many ways that blogging is beneficial to student learning when used as an instructional tool. What changes to teaching approaches must be embraced to effectively implement these learning resources, one may ask? In order for these resources to be effectively implemented, the teacher must be open to using a variety of strategies to get the content across to the students. The teacher must ensure that all of the resources listed are not only ready and available, but they must be prepared to improvise in the event that something does not go according to plan. The teacher must be able to have a backup plan or an alternative resource in the event that, for example, the electricity goes off, the internet is down, or insufficient devices for the students to work with. Here is a diagram of teacher preparedness. What are the benefits, drawbacks, and challenges to using these learning resources? Some of the benefits are the use of these resources provide several different approaches to achieving the objectives of the lesson. Challenge or drawback. Some of the challenges with using these resources may be a lack of engagement from students. Students will be able to interact directly with the technology collectively and independently. Students may not be familiar with the technology being used and therefore not be comfortable using it. They will be able to gain first-hand knowledge and experience and be provided with the opportunity to demonstrate what they've learned. Insufficient time to use resources properly, resulting in them being used ineffectively, will become a challenge. In a study conducted by Yadav and others, they discovered that teachers face a number of challenges, including isolation, lack of adequate computer science background, and limited professional development resources. Discuss what you perceive to be your role in contributing to engaging students in reflective practices. The role of the teacher is to be the facilitator, listener, and one who will act upon students' reflexive practices. The teacher is to be very observant of the experience and look for ways to improve experiences that did not work so well or was not the best choice for the students. They are to ensure that the time is set aside for the sole purpose of reflection and allow students to reflect on the experience of the lesson. This reflection will provide an insight on the effectiveness of the experience and to improve oneself and the experience the next time around. Providing timely feedback on assignments so that students can track their progress is another important role which contributes to the engagement of students in reflexive practices. When we foster an environment where reflection becomes the norm, and I quote, we are not only allowing them to analyze their own learning, but are teaching them a skill that reaches far beyond the classroom and into the rest of their adult lives in both professional and social interactions. End quote. This is a listing of my resources, and this brings to end my lesson for the day. Thank you so much for your time.